Okay, so removing the battery is nice and easy. I've taken the terminals, left the bolts in with the nuts on the actual battery so they don't go missing, because I'm going to end up with bits everywhere. Just disconnect, take out the breather pipe there, and there should be a strap that goes across the battery. I've already removed mine, but that will need to come off first before taking the battery out. And then it should, oh, it's difficult with one hand, but there we go, just come straight out like that. I already had taken off 2 clips that belong here yesterday when I drained the oil, and then you'll need to unscrew this bolt here. Once you've done that, you can pull the oil tank off, although it won't come completely off because there's still pipes attached. Then once we've done that, I don't know if you can see that, but we need to undo the breather pipe that goes into the valve cover just down here. So there's a tiny little clip on that I'll just unscrew and remove. Okay, so I've just taken off the oil tank breather pipe, which was located on top of the valve cover, and I'm just supporting the oil tank here with a bungee. Next up, we need to take out the throttle cable, which is located here, from the throttle body. This springs round really easy. You just disconnect this section, and this should just unscrew by hand. It should just simply pop out. So I jumped ahead a little bit there. I should have really taken off all the air filter ducting first. So what we need to do before we begin is just disconnect this. There we go. So taking that plug out. And now next up, I'm going to unscrew here to dislodge these plastics. Okay, so I've taken the screws out of here, and then this bit, this section here, simply pops out. Just pop that on the floor. And then you can see the air filter, and then this section of ducting again will simply just pop out, and it is attached in the front there. There's a little kind of grommet, so just make sure you bear that in mind when you come to putting it back in, that it goes into the same place again. Just pop that on the floor, and then here we have the air filter, and as you can see, it's in quite a state really. Oh, did you just hear all that dirt drop out? That definitely needs replacing. I checked it probably about 6 months ago and it looked really good, but that isn't so good. So luckily I've got another one ready to go back in, but I won't be putting that in for a little while until I've done the valve clearances. And then once they're removed, we can just pop out the housing, and I think I'm just going to leave this attached and just support it like I have done with the oil reservoir tank the other side using a bungee. Okay, now I've got to this stage, I am actually going to give everything a little vacuum. A lot of it is probably stuck on, but I just don't want to risk any little bits of dirt dropping down, especially when I'm going to remove the throttle body nets, because all I need to do is take off this little clip in here. So I've undone this clip, I've lifted off the throttle body, and I've done a couple of clips just to move it out the way. Again, now taking it off, I can see so much dirt around the top, so I'm going to make sure I try and hoover that and then stuff something down there, just a little bit of rag. Okay, so there's the throttle body removed. A few little bits that had to be taken off, but it is filthy again, so I will be definitely getting some WD-40 on this part. And just looking in here, I mean, it's pretty bad. Next we're just going to take off or displace the relay starter. This should be easier, but probably the Mongolian dirt is clogging that up. And then we're going to remove the cover here by taking out these bolts and the battery tray. So that's the tray removed. Again, I'm just going to keep the bolt in here so I remember where that goes. Unscrew these nuts here. So this then comes off. Again, I've just put the nuts back on to keep them in place. And then this section here should just pop out, but you will need to feed the throttle cable through. So now I've just taken off the spark plug cap, and I'm going to take these bolts out here, so I can dislodge this, and then once that's out of the way, I'm going to remove the spark plug and check out what condition that's in. So I've taken the bolts out of here so I can move this. Although I did find this little lock nut as well, and I'm pretty sure that's nothing to do with it. I think it might be something that's fallen off my bike probably like a year ago that I thought had been completely lost. Maybe something off my sat-nav mount. But yeah, again, keep these bolts nice and safe. So I'm just using my spark plug tool that comes with the in the toolkit for the bike, and spanner. It was quite difficult to turn it at first, but it's coming out quite nicely. Just be careful again when you actually pull out that spark plug that no dirt falls back in. So the condition of the spark plug doesn't actually look too bad. I will of course be replacing it because it's been in for some time and done a lot of miles, but it's great in these Haynes manuals. You can actually see little diagrams at the back of how the spark plug should look, and if I look at this, to me it does look like normal condition. It doesn't have any of these ash deposits or carbon fouling, oil fouling, which is actually a really good sign. Okay, so next up we're going to dislodge the coolant reservoir here, just to get that out of the way of the valve cover, because that's the last thing now that's going to block us from taking this off. Once I've moved this though, I'm not going to do anything else until tomorrow, because I want to make sure that I clean absolutely everything and make it spotless before I remove the valve cover. So right now, last step, we're literally just going to take out this bolt here using a Torx key. Then all we're going to do is just pull the coolant box out from the grommet that it's attached into. So I've dislodged that. We can move that to the side, ready to take the valve cover off.